Hi, Garden Rebels. Hey, I want to go over with you some ideas on how to plant your container. And the reason why I want to go over this, by the way, is because we had some seminars, some workshops, believe it or not, about planting. And I got this question. Do you tickle the roots before you plant a plant into your container, or do you just leave it alone? I want to answer that once and for all. So I'm going to take this hanging basket. We're going to go through the nursery and see what we can drum up with as the sun gently sets in the sky on the nursery over the plants. I want to show you a couple of features about our planting bar. One is this planting table. This planting bar raises up. I didn't say it was quiet. Right, we've got our container power. It is our soil. I know, we're just proud of our soil. We get to mix it this year. We get to bag it our own, and we're in total control of the ingredients. So we're really happy about that. And just happy about that. So we got our soil level, right? Now there are, again, two different types of people in the world. They like to actually have it really low, and then they'll put their plants in and then backfill it with the soil. And some folks like to have it nice and full, and then they'll dig a little hole and move the soil. And by the time they get to the last part of their basket, they can empty out some of the soil. So either way works. But it's really important to make sure you put the root power into your basket. I know I stress this over and over again, but I want to make sure that all the nutrients are there. So we mix it in like this, right? So I like just turning it a bit, get it all nicely mixed in there. And now we've got our choice of plants. I chose these plants. Is this mixture right here. And yes, I did use a color wheel. This basket is going to range from the violet to the red violets to the reds, the oranges, red oranges into the oranges. So that's this mixture that I've chosen. I forgot about our big question. Do we tease the roots or not? Now here is our answer, because if you go on the internet, you'll find that there is a raging debate. Do you tease the roots or not? And it's this thing about circulating the roots and choking the plant. And what I say is that it's too broad of a question, and it really needs to focus on your particular plant that you're planting. Planting a tree might be very different than planting an annual or a perennial or a shrub. So, and it all depends too on the state of affairs of your plant. So notice here, I've got this nicely rooted, and it's coming through the earth pot. And by the way, if you're ever planting these, you don't have to take the wrap off. It will just it will just grow right through it. Now, don't be shocked if you, at the end of the season, and you're dumping your plant, and you notice, hey, these didn't biodegrade like we wanted to. It takes a little while longer, but it does root nicely through, as you can see. Proud of those roots. Now, so do you mess with them and tickle them and tear some off? My sister loves to mess with the roots, and I don't mess with them at all. Now, who's right in this? Well, me, of course. This is what I say. On this here, there's a lot of fine root hairs. And yes, I can certainly tear them off. As a matter of fact, if I'm squished for space, sometimes I can take off a side or a section of it and still get great results. But if you're talking about speed, it's not necessary whatsoever. These particular annuals, especially our annuals, their roots go right down to the bottom of your container and they just go to town. So no, we don't mess with the roots. If you like to, yes, you may. The one point that I like to warn about is just taking off too many of the root hairs. And some plants, if they're under stress, it just adds to more stress. They got more plant to support with this amount of roots. That's my say. One other thing about this too. Now notice, when I planted these, I planted kind of a centerpiece. I did the Bidens because I know the Bidens will grow throughout, but I could have put 2 or 3 in the middle just as well. And then notice how I handle the plant. It's, I want to say, loving but firm. It's not entirely gentle. You know, I don't have to lay it and worry about it. You can be firm with it. Like if you were stuffing a washing machine full of clothes and you've got that big towel that you want to push in. Yeah, I know you're not supposed to, but that's about the pressure you want to put into it. So just stick it right in. Another point too is notice that this is just right at the soil line. So I actually want to leave about 1 inch from the top. So the reason why I do that is because when I water, if this was mounded with soil, then the water would just sheen off and head down the edges or head down the side of the pot. What you want is a little bit of I want to say a reservoir, so that when you water, you can see that water sink in. It's really gratifying. So, I've got 2 of my lobelias here. That's the deep dark blue. And then I've got 2 red petunias that I put one on this side and I put one on the other side. So there's a little bit of balance. I always say there's 2 different types of people in the world. There's symmetry lovers, and then there are non-symmetry lovers. So now you notice again, I just kind of pushed, I nudged it in there firmly but gently, and I still have to put some soil around that as well. So now it's starting to fill up, and I can stop there. But I want to add a little bit more of this. This is Bumblebee Orange. This is a Calibrachoa. I just love these guys because they trail about 1 foot, 2 feet down the side of the basket, and then just they have those little blooms and very little. It's very easy to grow and very few bugs and pests disturb it. So now my choice here. I've got 2 pieces, 2 spots here and 2 spots here. I am just going to choose the largest spot and then nudge over the rest. So I'm just kind of squishing those a little bit. See, one way and another one the other way. Again, it's firm but loving, should I say. So take that. Another trick we do too is I'll take this, sometimes I'll mash them just a little bit to get them into the pot. So yes, you may. So now I've got those all in there, but you notice I've got some air pockets like right in there. So I want to make sure that those air pockets get filled with soil to the appropriate level. And the reason being is that soil holds water, soil holds moisture, and soil holds nutrients. So, and without it, we have a threat of drying out. Another thing I do too, by the way, is I just kind of tap things and get that soil kind of worked into the nooks and crannies. So let's take a look at this. So here's our planted basket, and you notice then, so this level right here is just a tad bit overfilled right here, but there's still an edge. So I'm gonna be happy with that because I know soil is gonna settle down. I wanna say ½ an inch or so. I'm gonna reattach this chain. Another thing you can do too, by the way, is decide when you're planting is whether you want a hanging basket that's showy from the get-go, so perhaps you want blooms right away, or whether you're happy with some of these performance annuals that, while they look a tad bit small and there's a lot of green to bloom ratio is what I call it, that in a week or two of sunshine, this will really go to town blooming. So there is my hanging basket right there. I'm excited to see how that turns out. As a matter of fact, every hanging basket we do, I wish I could send home some sort of tracking device and, you know, a reminder, hey, send a picture back to see how it looks like at the end of the season or during the season. So just so you kind of want to see how all your children turn out. But also, just wanted to let you know too that the soil at the planting bar is no charge. It is free. So is the root power. So even if you have big containers you want to bring from home, buy the plants here. We're just going to charge you for the plants that you use, and then but the soil and the root power is no charge, and leave the mess behind. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention to you too is that we, the Garden Corner, we have an app. Yeah, on your phone. We are on your phone. And what you can do is download our app and schedule. If you want to schedule a planting bar, you can schedule a time and date for the planting bar and reserve it ahead of time. That way we'll have the planting bar ready for you, soil ready, root power ready, and the planting bar is all yours. You can have it. It feels kind of like a safe, outside, undercover restaurant that's bustling and busy, and you can watch and see other people's creations, and it's really kind of inspiring. I get inspired. So anyways, guys, that's the show for the day. Always live your passion. Raises up.